Born on the 22nd of February 1984, Mairead McDermott entered the world on a Wednesday afternoon and rightfully claimed her title as the Baby Mac, ousting her older brother Barry, who'd had the spot for a good 5 years. Her doting parents, Ronnie and Mary, thought they knew what they'd let themselves in for. They were already experienced parents to Sharon, Noel, Sandra, Ronan and Barry. However, what had gone on before in Cloonslanner, the world has never known another girl like Mairead. The Baby Mac took a shine to social events from a very young age, winning the Bonnie Baby competition in the Strokestown show in 1985. Amid whispers of bribes and backhanders, a full independent inquiry was carried out, and she kept the title for a full year. Mairead grew quickly, losing her place as the baby of the brood to her younger sister Tracy, and forevermore she suffered middle child diva syndrome. At age 4, she commenced her formal education in Sculwira, Strokestown. It is here she met some of her bestest and lifelong companions. Mairead always had a healthy competitive streak in her, both in school and in extracurricular activities. She famously came joint second with myself in a joke-telling competition in the County Fleadh. Aged just 6, we displayed a command for the Irish language that was well beyond our tender years. There was only 3 in the competition, but we both felt a sense of achievement, and we made a few bob showing off our medals in all the pubs. Many a summer Mairead spent with her siblings, cousins and family friends in the wilds of the West. Always one for adventure and crack, Mairead and the gang spent the long summer days swimming and cod acting in the lakes and rivers around the towns of Strokestown, Drynon being a particular favourite. Mairead often snuck away from the crowd at Drynon to visit her granny and auntie for a feed and a chat. Words of wisdom from Granny Murphy were always served with tea. Of a summer's evening, Mairead loved nothing more than collecting up phone cards in the hope of finding a credit or two and making some prank phone calls. Other constructive days were spent in the Granary, Batty's Arcade, and in the lobby of this very hotel playing Golden Axe. For many, the teenage years can be tough. Hormones raging, the need to fit in, uncool parents, and an all-round pressure to be a social butterfly. Babysitting jobs were scarce and money was tight. Mairead, however, always the uber cool one, without much money, headed to the shopping haven that is Longford. On a Saturday afternoon, she showed me how to utilise free samples of makeup and perfume in every chemist. We were looking $1 million for the boys at Balnagar. It was not long before Mairead wanted more. She knew Strokestown had more to offer a couple of teenage girls. It was the summer of '97 when the great discovery of a coveted place was made. With fake ID and a made-up story, borrowed clothes and a babysitting alibi, Visions nightclub shone its neon lights on Mairead for the first time. It is here we believe that her true love of all things social was really born. At the tender age of 16, Mairead was sick of Visions and all the local lads. She dabbled in acting with the school production of Grease, but she knew she wanted more, so she set off for the bright lights of Galway in search of work and wonder. With her older siblings, Sandra and her 3 brothers there to guide her, Mary Mac knew she was in safe hands. It was here that Mairead's first love for the culinary arts were born. She succeeded in securing her first real job, with Sandra as her mentor and inspiration. Love blossomed for Mairead on the banks of the Corrib River, and who knew that there were actually 2 Leeds fans in Ireland? Mairead conquered both. They're a vulnerable type. Mairead knuckled down as much as she was expected to for her leaving cert, and secured her place in Dún Laoghaire College. She commenced studying for her psychology and IT degree. The first of many, the eternal student was born. Mairead's exploration of the unknown did not stop at Galway. From the minute she was old enough, she skipped off to España with her partner in crime, the one and only Miss Ailish Carty. Together, they conquered the Spanish lifestyle of late nights out and siestas at midday. although it was mainly late nights out until midday. She developed her diving skills here, taught by a 10-year-old girl, but it was mostly in Spain where she learned to adapt her party style to another culture, a taste she could not rebuke. The following years, in between education and the likes, Moraine's seen many a cultural knot on her travelling belt. One being the Summer of Love in San Francisco, 2003, where Mairead became the leader of an illegitimate gang, but a friends-only gang, giving advice to underagers on how to forge your passport to be over 21. She was a master at her trade. Her scheme even fooled the high-flying casinos of Vegas. No one could stop McDermott. The colourful, loving, outrageous and courageous San Francisco is where her addiction to fancy dress ignited. From here on in, the world has never seen a wilder, more colourful McDermott. As if the one that wasn't big enough. Attracting all sorts of hooligans. These turned out to be the Cavan crowd, and sound out high. With Mairead being the eternal student, she continued to take full advantages of summers off. And this time she tried her hand in Southeast Asia. Many a day was spent on tropical beaches, while the nights were spent drinking buckets and partying to the full moon. A career in teaching seemed only suitable to Mairead, with good pay and long summer holidays. It felt like destiny was calling. She moved to Dubai to pursue her career in teaching, and it was here, however, that Mairead not only found her career, but she also found love. Love came in the shape of a Kerry-accented poker fanatic. She decided he was a keeper, so after a stint in Dubai, they returned to her beloved second home of Dublin. It was here she felt she'd so much to offer the next generation, and she felt that she had the stuff to guide the young ones. A guidance counsellor was born. However, as usual, Mairead couldn't be tied down for long, and it was off to the big brights of Brighton to make her career in teaching official. After throwing her hand to skating and surfing in Brighton, Mairead, at the bonny age of 28, felt it was time to throw in the towel and settle down. So she returned to Ireland, got a house beside Croke Park and started going to matches every week. What? No, mainly because us Irish know how to party, and I think Paul might have had something to do with it. After deciding to settle, Mairead felt it was time to do the right thing, and showed us ladies how to be a modern girl. She popped the hula hoop on the hand of her beloved. While life was good for Mairead in Ireland's bad times, Mairead always pondered if there being more to life than teenagers' attitudes and being a role model. She felt she no longer wanted to be a life guider. So with a bag full of guts and knowing exactly what she wanted, she was never afraid to go and get it. Luck was always on her side. The time came for her to conquer her dream of being a chef. So for one more and final time, she's gone back to school. The lifetimes and tribulations of Mairead McDermott will never be ending. We have tonight given you just a snippet of some of the adventures to date. So here's to the next 30, folks. Let's hope they're as fun-filled.